as if I'm never letting go. Cause baby, when I'm feeling like this, it feels so damn good that I can't resist. And I don't wanna let it in. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy. This time a telephone call won't do. Cause baby, I need to hold you close, as if I'm never letting go. Cause baby, when I'm feeling like this, it feels so damn good that I can't resist. And I don't wanna let it in. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel. Telephone call won't do. Cause baby, I need to hold you close, as if I'm never letting go. Cause baby, when I'm feeling like this, it feels so damn good that I can't resist. And I don't wanna let it in. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy.
There we go. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Taz, and of course, you are listening to In the Spotlight podcast. I'm Solo Dolo, so I'm running everything, so y'all got a part in everything that y'all see me doing. But I'm excited to be here again for another show. Of course, it's been a minute, I know and understand, since we have been alive due to situations beyond my control, but I'm excited that we're back. We are in the Spotlight Studio in Dallas, Texas, where the money, where the money resides. Like, it does reside; it haven't manifested yet. But I am excited once again to be with you guys for another episode of In the Spotlight podcast. This is our live recording that goes on to iHeartRadio and Spotify. After we do these shows, I'm excited to have you guys join, those of you who are going to join on the show on tonight, as we just talk about a lot of stuff that's going on in entertainment. I see somebody looking at me. Uh, Forgot to mute the phone. But we have a lot of things that we are going to discuss. Of course, we are going to be discussing the one and only ditch digger himself, because he is digging a horrible ditch for himself. I'm talking about the one and only Kanye West. What I want to do also is let you guys know tonight you have the opportunity to join me on video. I want to chat with you and have your face in the place. That chat link is at the In the Spotlight page on Facebook. That's In the Spotlight podcast. You should see that also on my personal page if you are chatting on the personal page, to where you can click and you can join me and we can talk on video throughout the entire show about whatever it is we are discussing. yeah, there's so much going on in entertainment, health and fitness, events that we have coming up that I'm hella excited about. That I really want to do a sneak peek and share with you guys, but I don't want to. I don't even believe in saying jinxing myself. It's not jinxing. I just I want to be careful the way I put this out there. Another subject that I'm definitely going to discuss is the need, and I really haven't touched on this since it's been in news in politics, and that is the need for gun control. Because over the last couple of days, weeks, whatever, there's so many people who are um, being shot. Some are being killed, others not necessarily, but it's my concern is um I understand on both sides where people are for gun control and those that are saying thank you for sharing that, Kelly, I appreciate you. Those who are saying that it's not as bad as it seems, quote unquote. But I do feel like with everything that's going on with the school shootings and mall shootings and things of that sort, that there needs to be something done that can help change the situation. Because I want to say here in Dallas, as a matter of fact, and this is going to be another topic of discussion. Texas schools have, instead of coming up with a plan to control guns, or how we purchasing guns or whatever, Texas schools recently sent home DNA tests for parents to get their child's DNA in case of a shooting. And I'm totally against it. It's like you want to make sure that in case something happens, rather than coming up with a way to prevent it from happening. So we're going to talk about all of that on today's show, and I want to talk about my music, of course. Good R&B, neo soul music. I want to talk about that. Let you guys know where you can find my music on all streaming platforms. And again, I want to be able to bring you guys in on video. So if you want to chat with us uh, and be on camera, not necessarily just on camera, but you want to be a part of the show, you'll have that availability to do that also. So while we're waiting a couple more minutes, I need to edit this post. And we'll be ready to go. Live. Bam. Yeah, I want you to be able to chat with me. We want to hear what you think instead of me just reading everything. We actually want to know what you think. I want to hear your voice. So you can chat with me right there. Yeah. So let's talk first what everybody is already talking about. And I didn't really want to touch on it, but it's really big. And I do actually have a an opinion. But before we do that, I have to give my condolences. This comes from Yahoo Entertainment on, I think it was yesterday. Actor Leslie Jordan was killed in a car crash. Reports say that Leslie was driving to the set of Call Me Kat when he had a fatal car crash. The news report reveals. That is one of the several emerging details related to Monday's death of 67-year-old, the 67-year-old actor who appeared on All American Horror Story and Will and Grace. Of course, I know him more from Will and Grace than anything. I actually loved him on Will and Grace. He's the friend that right now I would want to have if there was that person. He was hilarious. Jordan, who played Kat's Cat Cafe, employee feel on the worst is crazy. He was behind the wheel of his BMW headed to the set when he crashed into a building in Hollywood, according to TMZ. People working on the show, which tapes in Burbank, became concerned about Jordan as he hadn't arrived for more than an hour after his call time. There was a scramble to locate him, and they learned that he died in the accident. It is believed Jordan had a medical emergency leading to the crash. The same outlet reported that he had been experiencing shortness of breath over the last 3 weeks and made an appointment to the cardiologist. The appointment was supposed to be soon, within that week, but unfortunately, he didn't make it. On Tuesday, the Los Angeles Fire Department released a statement about the crash and the audio call from 911. We know that the passenger called and reported the accident. All that said, to just say this, condolences to his family, all of his blood family, his acting family, and those who loved him most, his fans or whatever. Our condolences to the loss of Mr. Leslie Jordan. He was hilarious on Will and Grace. I enjoyed that show so freaking much. Let's get to the drama, and it's drama too. FYI, if you're watching, you can look in the comments and on the post at any point in time that you want to join us on video. You want to be a part of this, and you looking like you need to be looking to be on video, click that link. I will see you and will bring you on live and chat with you about whatever we are talking about. Let's talk about Kanye West. Unfortunately, this is from WSJ.com. Skechers says Kanye West was escorted from office after showing up uninvited. Before I go into this story, this is my disclaimer. I 100% believe in freedom of speech. But I also believe that in believing in freedom of speech, some speech have consequences. And according to those consequences, you just have to be aware of what you say. And whenever the consequences come, you have to, in the words of Kevin Hart, say, if you're gonna say it with your chest, keep that same energy whenever the consequences come forth. And in a way, Kanye, he's keeping that same energy because he's not backing down to anything that he said previously on podcast or on camera. Whenever somebody see him talking about something stupid, he's keeping that same energy. But so I do believe in freedom of speech, but I also believe in having to pay the price for your freedom of speech. But let's get to this Skechers story. Skechers USA said Kanye West, the rapper and fashion brand owner who goes by Ye, was escorted from one of its California corporate offices after visiting unannounced and engaging in unauthorized filming there. The footwear maker said Wednesday that two company executives escorted Ye and his party from the building in Los Angeles. After a brief conversation, the company didn't elaborate further on the nature of this conversation. Skechers is not considering and has no intention on working with West. Let me say that again. Skechers is not considering and has no intention on working with Mr. West, the company says. We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitic comments or any other form of hate speech. Let's leave it there. Okay, so yes, I believe in the freedom of speech, but the cost is, now that you have said what you said, you have every single right, and this is not just Kanye, this is for anybody, period. You have the right to believe whatever it is you want to believe. But in believing what you want to believe and expressing yourself accordingly, Lamar, what's up? Thank you for watching. Anything that we are talking about, you have the opportunity to join us on video. If you are on Facebook, there's a link, but there's also a link in the comments. You can comment on whatever we're talking about. And yeah, but so you have to be ready for what happens after the fact. And it, as I was saying, not just for Kanye, but in general. Josh, what's up, bro? Hey, Josh, I don't know if you saw, but there's a link if you want to join in video tonight and actually discuss or talk about what we are discussing. You could actually join me on video tonight. In life in general, a lot of people, and this is especially on social media, we have a knack of jumping on the bandwagon whenever we see somebody who we feel is right saying something or expressing something. Understand this: whenever you repost certain comments, whenever you repost certain pictures, it's like you are saying, I condone what this person is saying, or I condone what this person is doing. So in doing that, and I say all the time, literally, whenever you are on social media, things that you say or things that you do, once it's out there, is out there. You are not able to necessarily erase. Like you could take it off Facebook, but after those first couple seconds, whenever people see what you posted, you are known by those things. And it can hinder a lot of your future. It can hinder jobs. It can hinder friendships. It can hinder relationships. It can hinder the advancement of whatever it is or whoever you are in life. For the people who are watching, whatever we're talking about, you have the opportunity. If you look in the comments or you look in the post, there is a link that you can click, and you can be a part of this show tonight in video. I want to talk to you and see what you think about our topics. Right now, of course, we're talking about Kanye West went to Skechers unannounced and was escorted out. You're talking about one of the most brilliant. Let's not take away the fact that Kanye is brilliant. Being able to come into the coming into the music industry itself and be as effective as he was in music, to going from music to being as effective as he was or is or was, however you look at it, in fashion. A brilliant guy. I'm not going to really touch too much on the bipolar because we don't know for sure if he was bipolar, if he is bipolar, if he's on his medicine, if he's off his medicine. But if that was a situation, or if it is a situation, being able to reach the level of success that he has reached up until now, dealing with everything that he's had to deal with, what happens when you start to feel things or start to express yourself and make you lose? Because I was looking at social media today and they were saying Kanye is losing all the support and representation from all of these white companies, yada, yada, yada. So worse, the black companies that are going to back him, or the black companies that are going to support him now. Let's not forget, yeah, he said what he said about the Jewish community. And with that being said, let's say this. I don't agree with anything that he said. I love every single body. But let's not also forget the things that he said about the African American community. Let's not forget what he said about Black Lives Matter. Let's not forget what he said about George Floyd also. We, instead of asking the question, where are the black companies or the black corporations to pick him up and support him, where are the people to actually say, stop getting in front of cameras, stop getting behind microphones, if that's how they feel? Because some people may actually feel that what Kanye is doing and what he's saying is 100% correct. And for those people, it is what it is. We can't argue because everybody feels like they are right. And I'm 100% cool with it. If you feel like what Kanye is doing, I can't argue that point, because the one thing God gave us is our own individual choice to decide. So if you decide that what he's saying or what he's doing is right, it is what it is. But we also have to understand, again, freedom of speech is free until those consequences come up. And whenever those consequences come, you just have to roll with the punches and you have to deal with it. Let's not forget also another misconception that I'm seeing on social media is the fact that he's not, I think, like in the top of the billionaire or whatever, because of the company that not necessarily canceled him, but stopped their contract with him. It doesn't mean that at that time Kanye had $1 billion. His worth, that was the worth, not what he had in the bank. He may actually have that in the bank, but that's not what that was. So let's not think that they went inside his bank account and was like, we want all your money. My brother from Louisiana is in the back door, so I'm about to bring him in right fast. Y'all give me 1 second. I want to talk to Josh right fast. Bro, what's good?
What's up, bro?
Man, everything is everything, man. So, what are your views on what's going on with Kanye?
My views with Kanye is, he said a lot of stuff that could have really just terminated his whole career. And you have to be knowledgeable of some of the things that you're saying, but you also have to be, let me see the word I'm looking for. You have to watch what you're saying about some of the people that you're saying, because
Yes,
to be honest with you, a lot of these people have control of everything that Kanye is over.
yes, sir.
And like, to be honest, I feel like he really said some things that were really out of line, and he stepped on a few toes.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped on a bunch of toes.
Yeah.
And he's a very blunt individual. He's not holding nothing back. You gotta realize this man has lost his whole family, everything. I feel where you coming from, but when you got money like that, sometimes you really can't control your actions.
Yeah. All right. So, do you think that money? Wait. Do you feel that the companies that are pulling out from him, that are taking their contracts, are they right for that?
I don't feel like they're right, man. Today, we live in a society where it's basically monkey see, monkey do. You see all these other big corporations don't want to have no dealings with this individual. Oh, let's join these people so we can get publicity saying that, hey, we diss Kanye too.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
So the big question that I'm gonna ask anybody who get on to discuss and talk about Kanye is this: are you still going to listen to the music?
Man, as a person, Kanye gonna always be a great artist. The music has nothing to do with what he has on the business side. That's two different people, really.
That's what's up. In the meantime, in between time, man, since I got you on here, man, what's been going on?
Man, nothing but work, man. Trying to make sure these kids stay eating, man.
Well, man, I just want to thank you for coming on, and of course, you can watch, because we have other topics that we'll discuss, and if you want to come back in, you can come back in. But I want to thank you for being a part of the show so far. I want to thank you for the connection that you have with Trey and my whole entire family, man, and we absolutely love you.
Absolutely, man. Love y'all too, man.
All right, man. Stay linked, because we're about to go somewhere else, and I want to see if you're gonna come back on tonight.
Absolutely.
All right, then. That was brother from Louisiana. That was Joshua. Thank you once again. Um, let's talk about. Hold on. Let's talk about it. Rihanna fans are losing it over "Lift Me Up." Uh, she is actually a part of the soundtrack for the sequel Black Panther. This comes from billboard.com. Rihanna had the internet lit up when she announced her return to music. While Riri didn't share any plans of her highly anticipated ninth studio album, the singer is set to unveil her new single "Lift Me Up" for the upcoming Marvel sequel Black Panther Wakanda Forever on Friday, October 28th. The upcoming song was written by Tim's Oscar-winning Ludwig. I'm not even going to damage that last name. Rihanna and Panther director Ryan Coogler, as a tribute to the late Panther star Chadwick Boseman, who died August 2020 at the age of 43. The track will be released on the Westbury Road label in partnership with Rock Nation, Def Jam Recording, and Hollywood Studio. I am excited to know that Rihanna is coming out with a new song. Period. Let's not say new music because we don't know what the whole situation is with the album, but a new song. I'm excited because I think the last song that I heard Ree on was the song that she did with Khaled. I can't think of the name of it. And I'm excited for a Super Bowl. If you know me, you know I am not a sports person by far. I'll never tell you that lie. I go to games because number one, they give us passes. Number two, I just want to go see what the music looks like. And for Super Bowl, I would love to be at the Super Bowl to see what this Super Bowl halftime show is going to look like, or even the shows before then, just because it's Rihanna and she's a wonderful artist, and we don't know what's the sound, what's the vibe, what's the wardrobe. Although Rihanna never has to make another song a day in her life, period. But because her she's just living the best life right now. She never has to make another song. But let's get into our next topic. Brittany Griner loses appeal for the 9-year prison sentence in Russia. This comes from BET.com. Let's go to it. Basically, they went back before the judge because they felt that the sentence that she got for 9 years was unacceptable and unfair for the vape cartridges that were found in her belongings. So she went back before the judge, and they still said that they are not, number one, they're not going to give her the appeal to go back before the judge and the jury, and that they literally want to make her sit out 9 years in jail in Russia. Let's go ESPN.com. A Moscow court rejected Brittany Griner's appeal of her 9-year sentence on drug charges Tuesday, a completely anticipated result in a trial that U.S. and international officials have called illegitimate proceeding. U.S. officials have said they believe Russia will eventually send the WNBA star home in a prison swap, but have expressed frustration over what they say is Russia's failure to respond to the significant offer the United States made in June. We are aware of the news out of Russia that Brittany Griner will continue to wrongfully be detained under intolerable circumstances after having to undergo another sham judicial proceeding today. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said in a statement. It goes on to say Griner took part in a Moscow regional court hearing via video conference. What do you think? How do you feel about this 9-year sentence over a vape cartridge. Of course, we talked about this before, where we discussed where I personally was like, no, I'm not for it. I'm totally against it. But then we also have to understand that whenever you're in another country, when in Rome, you have to do what Rome does. You have to live by Rome's standards, quote unquote. And that's, I guess, where we are right now with Grindr. I know recently they were discussing a trade because, of course, we have people here in the States that Russia want back home. We have people jailed here in the United States that Russia want home. So the ideal was to get released. But evidently that's not what's happening. Is not going down that way. They are talking about keeping her literally for 9 years over vape cartridges. Don't think it's fair. Definitely want to lift up her family, lift up her wife in prayer, because imagine what it's like whenever you have somebody here in the States that's incarcerated. So if they're in the States and they're incarcerated, imagine being in another country and you can't see your wife, you can't see your friends, you can't even talk to your wife or your family. I don't even know how many conversations she's been able to have, but that mental strain of not being able, and you're in a familiar but unfamiliar territory, has to be the worst. Has to be the worst. So I personally would like to continue to, uplift that family and make sure that people just know. I don't think that any of our people, especially the African American community, we shouldn't go over there to play no more games. We shouldn't go over there for no more concerts. We shouldn't do anything until Brittney Griner is released, because you won't get respect until you demand it. Until you stand up and you say or you do what you feel is right, you're just going to keep on going around the same thing over and over and over again. So until we step up and say, we're not going to go over there to support you until you release, or until the U.S. comes up with a trade. Let's come up with that trade, and we'll let whoever you want, we'll let them go, and you just give us Brittney. I believe that as opposed to WNBA, I believe that there need to be a way for us to have enough money here in the States for the WNBA to where they don't have to go overseas to play in the first place. We take care of the males in every sports genre. I believe that if we do that for females, situations like this wouldn't even happen. She wouldn't have had to even be over there if WNBA was taken care of financially as they do for the men. Of course, some of the argument is there's not a lot of attendance for those games, but still, this is what happens whenever you don't take care of your own. You have to go out and figure out what you can do to make a living on something that you love. So I don't believe that we need to have to go to other countries to make money. I'm just saying, in that matter, people going out for concerts, okay, we understand that. But when it comes down to sports, like, I'm playing for your country, I'm representing your country. But in an instance, whenever it's something like this, you kind of just counsel me and you put me in prison for 9 years. Imagine the unfamiliarity, being unfamiliar. Y'all know I'm country. Being unfamiliar with that way of life, the food, and all that, just not even knowing or not even understanding how they do what they do. It's crazy. Next story, Ashanti addresses Irv Gotti's slander I genuinely believe in my heart Irv wishes death on me. This is on the Angie Martinez podcast. In real life, I need you guys to actually check that entire show out. It is on iHeartRadio. She sat down with Angie and discussed, because if you remember a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, or whatever, we discussed when Irv Gotti sat down on Drink Champs and basically just threw Ashanti under the bus. Basically, a lot of stuff that was said allegedly, I'll say allegedly for those purposes, were not true, and just threw under the bus. And for a long time, she hadn't made any statements about anything until this moment. This comes from hold on, let me see. Ashanti is speaking up against Irv Gotti, the 52-year-old music producer who recently appeared on several media platforms and slandered the foolish singer. Sitting down for an interview on Angie Martinez's In Real Life podcast, Ashanti said Gotti tarnished the Murder Inc.'s label with his behavior. Let's go on a little bit more. It says, just making sure. If you are watching, or whenever you're watching, you want to comment in video, please do so. There's a link that you can click and you can be on video to share share what you think about the story that we're talking about. Ashanti says, it's a little sad to see a grown man conduct himself in that manner. I feel like the Murder Inc. legacy is so much bigger, and we accomplished so much and made amazing history. And I feel like the way he handled it tarnished and cheapened the brand. We all worked so hard, and for you to be that selfish to throw mud on a name because you might get a check, that's so selfish and degrading. Goes on to say, in the interview, Ashanti recalled a 2017 encounter with Gotti where the two were on more cordial terms. However, she added, shortly after, she began receiving evil texts and knew that it was time to fall back from the relationship. We've accomplished so much. It doesn't make sense for you to have this much hate for me, she said. I genuinely in my heart believe that Irv Gotti wishes death on me. I'll say this, and I said this before in the other show, so for those of you that heard the other show, this is probably going to be a repeat. Whenever you have to use somebody else's name to make your name great, your name is not great. You are not great. I remember the whole entire interview that Irv and Ja Rule done with Drink Champs. And the whole interview, it was like, ugh. Or even whenever Irv Gotti just talks, even outside that interview, the positivity that comes out it's very, very few. But this interview in particular, talking about the relationship that either was or wasn't with Ashanti, and like she said, it cheapens the brand because now it makes you wonder what else was there, or was Ashanti the first lady of Murder Inc. because of situation? Why did she fall off? Did she fall off? What happened, relationship wise? I think that whole situation, that whole interview could have been held different. But again, like Ashanti said, whenever you are out for that check can make you do some things. The check can make you say some things that you wouldn't normally say. But one of the biggest things on the internet is the fact that you have to make people want to hear you. So clickbait is always going to be big. So maybe he felt like some of the things that I'm saying in this interview with Drink Champs is not enough. And of course, with Drink Champs, one of their biggest things is you're drinking, and they love to pour alcohol down your body. So after you get that alcohol down your body, yeah, you'll probably say some things and do some things that the normal you wouldn't do. But I think that overall, that was just a bad look for Irv. But I respect the fact that Ashanti could have said or done some things even around that time that put her in a better spotlight or just to defend herself, but she chose not to. She chose not to. I'm pretty sure that there are stories that she have now that she could bring out to defend or defame him, but she chooses not to do that. But then we also have to understand the rise and the success of Murder Inc. and kind of ask the question: was the demise of Murder Inc. due to the attitude or the disposition of Irv Gotti, the actions of Irv Gotti, or things that he said, things that he done? Because if it was, it explains it all. Because your level of success is only going to be what you make it. You have the opportunity, going back to Kanye, you have the opportunity to dig a ditch and fall face first in it. And I think that for this situation, because I really haven't heard much from Irv or seen too much from him since all of that. So I hope it was worth the check. I hope it was worth the clickbait, because I didn't hear too much about the show that the documentary, I think it was on BET or BET Plus. I haven't heard too much about that show. So I hope that the defamation or throwing Ashanti under the bus like that, I hope it was worth it, because no one has heard from you since, Doc. If you're watching right now and you want to come on the show, you want to come on cam and share your opinion of what we're talking about, you can. There is a link in the comment, but there's also a link in the description. We are talking about Ashanti sitting down with Angie Martinez for the first time since the Irv Gotti interview on Drink Champs and all those things that he said regarding her. We've also discussed Kanye West being escorted out of meetings that wasn't even invited. How do you go into a meeting or into a building to sit down and talk to somebody and you weren't even invited in the first place? That's like a friend of mine posted on Facebook how FaceTiming somebody before you even let them know that you FaceTiming them, it's rude. Like, you don't know how I'm looking. You don't know who I have in my building at the time, what kind of deals I'm working on, and you just want to show up because you're Kanye West. We don't care. These people don't care. They just don't care. But before we go, let me also talk about this. There is a level of respect that we have to have for individuals. This goes back to Kanye and his comment about George Floyd. And I didn't realize the damage that was done or could have been done until I was listening to the Breakfast Club and they were talking about it. You have to consider the fact, regardless to how you feel about the situation, you have to be considerate of people's feelings, people's emotion about certain topics and situations. Because whenever Kanye started talking about George Floyd and how the cop didn't have his knee on the neck and how, all the other stuff that I'm not even getting into, we forgot that George Floyd had a daughter who is on social media, who watches TV, who listens to the radio, who goes to school, who has friends, who had to go back and relive this whole situation all over again. But again, it's just like saying, what more won't you say or what more won't you do for that attention? We have to be considerate because, like, I would still say today, if that was me dealing with the passing of my mom, what happens if they're not completely, I'm not going to say over it because you never get over it, but what if they're still dealing with that? And then you come on and you start lying about or defaming the character or saying that what we know to be true really isn't true. That daughter has to go back and experience literally like it's happening that day. And that's the worst feeling ever. And I said that to say this: on social media, we have to be careful what we say about people, what we repost about people, how we comment about people's posts, because you never know what they're going through. You never know what that morning brought them when they woke up. We never know. We are so hard on wanting clickbait. We're so hard on wanting people to see us, or we want to get the stars, or we want to get the likes. We want to do the reels to get the money, but never consider the feeling of other individuals. Social media is a blessing and a curse. Let me say it again. Social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. And I say that because what was made for the good of us to be entertaining and fun real quickly became something else. I don't believe that there will ever be a point in time where, they have individuals who monitor social media to keep negative comments off of other people's posts, or whenever you posting something negative, they supposed to capture it and keep it off. But I don't believe that we'll ever get to the point to where they'll be able to monitor that and keep it off. But we can get to a point as individuals. If you are watching right now and you would like to comment on what we're talking about on video, there is a link that you can click on, and I will see you and bring you on the screen. I do believe that although we can't necessarily, the people who are monitoring, who's supposed to stop it, although they can't necessarily do everything themselves, I do believe that, or I wish that in humanity, there could become a point in time to where we could monitor ourselves, and we could think before we speak, think before we repost, think before we do a video, think before we do a reel, because you never know ultimately who's been affected. You never know ultimately. Like I say, the person that we're talking about or laughing about, what kind of life they're leading, or what kind of day they're having, and what our comment can do to either push them to be their best or bring them back 100 feet. I think we should lead with love, because we also have to understand this. We'll have a day. You will have a day where you will say something or do something, and you will want people to have grace on you. You'll want people to be able to say, although Taz said this, we heard him say it, but instead of us jumping in his inbox or jumping under pictures or posting about him, we're going to let him make it. Everybody has a human moment. Everybody has a human moment. The only thing is, some of it is caught on camera, some of it isn't. But don't think that you're ever going to live an entire life and at least one of your human moments never be caught on camera. At least one of your human moments is never audio recorded. And then with that, you have to be willing to think about, when that does happen, when it is recorded, what do I want people to say and think about me? How do I want people to respond to me? I have someone on camera. I don't know who it is. I can't see their face. Let me see. Who is this? Oh, that's Bro again. Let's bring him right back in before we go. Joshua is back with us. What's up, Bro? What are we talking about?
Like you talking about the social media thing. Like you said, it's not. I I feel like people are not using it for what it's really meant to be used for. Like my biggest pet peeve, some people get on there, and yeah, I understand you giving out to the needy, but what's the reason for you recording? You giving somebody a bottle of water, giving somebody $20.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you just as wrong as the person driving by.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Like, and then, a lot of these parents be doing stuff in front of their kids. Kids, a lot of kids watch social media. I saw a post today. They said most of your social media comes from China, and they said in China, their social media is basically they have somebody who sends certain links to different countries.
Mm-hmm.
But in China, their social media is based on positivity. Kids doing great things, kids coming up in the world, people doing positive stuff in the community.
Yeah.
And then they had another post where it was they said, and what they send the United States, they said they send us all the negative stuff so we could be distracted from all the positive stuff in the world. They said they want us seeing everybody dancing on videos, you doing pranks on your parents, doing all kind of other stuff that you really shouldn't be showing to the world.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it's really out of hand.
I definitely agree with it because as I said before, people don't understand what you do on social media now at 20 years old, it's going to bite you in the ass at
Absolutely,
25, 30 years old whenever you go out and you want
absolutely.
to become something, but we know you from XYZ.
And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these companies that you work for, you go fill out an application.
Yes,
They
sir.
going to your social media.
Yes, sir.
Promise you, they going to your social media, man.
And it doesn't matter if it's under your name or under a surname. I believe companies, these big corporate companies, they can look on social media and find something on Joshua that's not even under Joshua's name. And I think that's
Absolutely.
what people don't understand. They feel like they can create these fake dummy pages and do whatever they want to do and nobody ever know. No, you're messing up your entire future for a click, for a like, for $1, literally $1.
I totally agree.
I have a question for you, man. All right, so are you in Louisiana or are you in Houston?
Now I'm back in Louisiana.
Okay, what is after everything that has happened over the last couple of years with the hurricanes and everything, what is the community like now?
Man, to be brutally honest with you, Lake Charles off the chain right now.
Wow.
I could literally say Lake Charles off the chain right now. Whenever I was in Houston, I would hear some of the stuff on the news, and I wouldn't believe. Like if somebody was to tell me this happened,
Yeah.
I wouldn't believe it. But to see it on the news and to come back home and it's the same stuff going on, like it's a body showing up every other day around here.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's off the chain. If you ain't going to work and staying in the house, it's kind of hard out here.
What do you think being there, seeing things uh face to face, what do you think could be brought to the community or brought to that area to help change the situation? What is it lacking?
Really and truly, it's lacking a lot because, like I said, there's really nothing for you to do out here. Don't get me wrong, you have your little party spots on the south side of town, but in a black community, we only got one spot,
Yeah.
and not even just party community. It's just like not even it's the in the party area. There's really nothing to do out here.
Yeah.
So you leave a bunch of people with all this time and nothing to do. Like they say, how they say an idle mind is a
Yeah.
dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it's nothing but time around here. Like they got young kids getting numbers up the road like it ain't nothing right now.
Well, I know whenever I was down there a couple months ago, just looking at a lot of the buildings that were either boarded up or the ones that were damaged but were still standing with boards just everywhere. Has the government done anything to improve that?
You know, they talk about it. They talked about it like they talked about the biggest eyesore in Lake Charles. You know, Capital One Tower. That's the first building you see as soon as you come
Yeah.
across the bridge.
Yeah.
They started working on the bottom. My thing is like it got a lot of work need to be done around here.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Like I said, if another storm was to hit,
Yeah.
it'll be done with.
Yeah. Man, but y'all definitely will always have my prayers, but I ain't going back down there. It's boring.
Hey, I definitely agree.
But so, hey, I'm gonna ask you on camera in front of everybody who's watching now and those who are gonna watch in the future. I need you. I need you every Wednesday at 7:00 to be a part of the show.
That's no problem, man.
So what I'm gonna do
Absolutely.
is I'm gonna send you some. I'll send you all the stuff that we have going on, so you can do your research. I want you to be a part of what we're doing.
Oh, hey, you know, me and Trouble was just talking about this a few weeks ago, prior to y'all first show.
Yeah, he was telling me about that. I got to
Yeah.
get some stuff to you. I'm gonna definitely after this. After this show. I'm gonna get at you for a couple minutes tonight, and we'll chop it up and see what we can do, man. Like I said before, I appreciate the fact, man, you kind of came into my family and just took over. So you know, you kind of just bombarded your way into our lives, but man, even with my music, with this podcast, whatever, man, I appreciate you and thank you for your support. And don't ever think that Trevor ain't talking about you. He's like, man, that's my best friend, man. I love him, whatever. But you good people, man. And if you give me a couple minutes, because this show is about to end, I'm gonna get at you so I can chop it up right fast to, see what we can make happen.
Absolutely, man. No problem with that.
Once again, everybody, that is Joshua from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'll get with you in a second.
All right.
In the meantime, in between time, look, thank you guys for being a part of today's show. Those who were on, those who are going to be on, appreciate you guys and love you guys and all of that good stuff. But it's late. I'm hungry and it's almost too late to eat. It is 8:30. Yeah, I got to get something to eat. But do me a favor, share this video on social media, or if you are listening on the podcast, either on iHeartRadio or on Spotify, please share the link so that somebody can check us out and follow us. It's your boy Taz. Before I go, let me give y'all our social media once again. You can follow us on social media, on all social media under that name. Appreciate you guys for being a part of today's show. Yeah, and that's about it. It's your boy Taz. Let me give y'all a little bit more of my promo for my video. Energy, featuring background vocals from Miss Kelly. After I figure out how to do it, let's go.
This time a telephone call won't do. 'Cause baby, I need to hold you close, as if I'm never letting go. 'Cause baby, when I'm feeling like this, it feels so damn good that I can't resist. And I don't wanna let it in. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel your energy. Baby, I need you here with me, right here with me, so I can feel